to lock it in.
Yeah, I mean, I think either or. You know, I think both of these champs get a lot of value into what DK is showing. So now it's up to Beryl, who has the final pick. Kind of funny, there's no swaps needed in this entire draft, actually. We just pick from top to bottom, and that's the way it is in this meta.
Maybe they forgot how you could swap, you know? Maybe that's...
Emilio.
We'll see what he goes for. Yeah. I think the Emilio value is pretty high in this situation. There's a lot of stuns on the enemy team. And honestly, you know, we've been seeing a lot of Lucian Nami. I much prefer Lucian Emilio. I think the synergy with Lucian Nami was like how good the burst damage was with like Mandate and the one-item spike with like Gale Force and stuff like that. I think the more consistent pressure is there for Emilio, and I think this gives a lot more damage to the Lucian. I think both teams, there's some things I don't necessarily agree with how they've drafted. But I also think there's some things that, you know, they've given themselves some tools where they can really take over the game. I think the Emilio gives a lot of strength to Lucian, which they kind of need with this composition.
Applause is gone. Let's hop onto the Rift. All right, here we go. Game 1 of this best of 5.
Okay, until we get any other word.
Yeah. Well, no flash, and Jarvan is here, but Perfect's so low, I don't know. As we get the flash coming down, but Lucid doesn't care. It's First Blood going over to DK. That goes to Xiu, and now Cuz on the run has to flash himself. The big snip goes in as well just to push him out, and Lucid sticks him, of course, to give the Gwen, which was the response pick, First Blood on over. Here's the level 6. Perfect goes in. He's trying to take this one, actually, as he's just going to get solo killed. Perfect cannot take that. He was still level 5. Going to be having a great time in this game. Seems like Duckdom and Peter have come back a bit in this lane. The wall's going to be held up for the culling. Both junglers are here. And in goes Cuz, trying to turn on to Lucid, who does drop the subjugate, but no flash for him just yet, so easily turned onto. As now aiming as well, gonna have to flash and dash away from this one, but he still gets sniped down by Duckdom, and BDD is still here. He's just gonna take Beryl for a walk down the lane. And Beryl has flash, but there's really no reason for him to flash until the very moment to force BDDs, and the follow flash comes through for the easy pickup.
Really well played there by KT, just when the game was starting to feel maybe...
the Dragon. I don't know if they're going to get here on time, but actually looks like they might, as both of the bottom laners of KT are here at the same time. But Lucid's going in. He is going to commit for the Dragon at least, as Peter going to hop on over. But now the fight is going to go in favor of KT. It looks like going to get the flash out here, as Peter now getting pretty low. And even an ult to be thrown out. KT now in a weird spot. Showmaker wants to get in with the taunt. He's going to catch both of them. And the follow-up here from Lucid, but the phase rush comes through, and KT do just get away.
Yeah, I think KT ultimately happy they're able to get out on that one. They also got Lucid's flash. They traded the Cataclysm for that. Still, D+ got the Dragon. You know, still favorite play for them overall. It looked a little bit scary at points there. Peter could have gone down. BDD nearly got caught out. So KT, they get a summoner advantage and disengage in the situation. Could have definitely gone worse. Now, Duckdom in trouble, though.
Oh, is he? He's got a lot of teammates here. Peter is pretty low himself, but now Showmaker looking for the follow-up as engage Galio, not sure about that one. And now BDD coming in, the TP much faster this time from the Rumble, but he doesn't seem to have Equalizer. So Perfect just comes here, and so does Hugh. And now a bunch of needles coming through. A very awkward fight from both teams. But now Peter and Duckdom taunted in the front line. And they get taken down. Showmaker very low, but the flash from Xiu to just assassinate the Jarvan. And that's another couple of kills for the Gwen.
They're so low. No Equalizer available, though. Vivek looking, but he's so scary.
I mean, he is incredibly aggressive on this one. You can see the fans are on a nice edge here, but the pillar comes down. Perfect. He's got flash, but he's not going to. Two more of them went to Xiu. And now some vision here onto the Gwen. We're going to get the taunt down. There's the knockup from the Jarvan, but we got 3 people in here keeping Xiu around. This is going to be a big shutdown for whoever gets it. It goes over to Cuz, who is going to get a massive influx of gold.
Yep. I mean, you're glad it didn't go to Peter. She would just hit level 11, so that level 2 ultimate on the Gwen. But actually, if you look, despite being 1,100 gold up,
Look at the item difference between top laners. Like, I think she was sitting on a lot of gold, so haven't leaned against each other early on. So he's having a fun time.
Yep. Especially with Perfect in the position he's in. Does have the first item, as you mentioned, but not the greatest. This is going to be the turret to go down. They're actually looking for the kill here as well, as in comes Cuz, but just for peel, essentially, not really sticking around very long. And Peter just running in a straight line, as I think he had the door. Not really sure what's going on here. Trying to bait them for a fight with BDD coming in from the left side.
Using his health as a resource, you know? And they are looking for a fight.
They're going to catch Barrel, kind of awkward spot for him, as in goes Cuz, and immediately flashes away, as that's the other part of Jarvan. You go in, and Galio just holds on top, so...
Okay, when I said looking for a fight, I dragged it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. The bigger issue would have been if they fought over it and died, because you're risking a lot.
On the Essence Reaver Rapid Fire spike, which never feels that inspiring. Like, I feel like Peter...
Yeah, he's in a really awkward spot here. He is Braum with Flash available, though, and Smite. He is going to get Cuz to block, and he throws his ult in, and now the counter engage comes in. The Q from the Melio not really able to stop the R, and that just gets the Flash here out of Lucid. But now the follow-up from Perfect, looking to get in there with his own Flash, but kind of another awkward engage. That's really been the tone of this entire game, is fights like that. It almost feels like both teams are almost scared to fight each other.
That was such... Perfect TP's in.
Get in here real quick. We do have Realm Warp, but BDD is here already. Cuz here with his Smite available. A lot of bouncing, and the Equalizer to come down. And now the turn onto this Otacon, and it's just given over. And wait, what was that?
Is that a Mega Cone?
I think so. Did someone just hit the Mega Cone?
I think he went for the steal.
Oh, okay. I mean, it was very late, though. Maybe he didn't have vision. I don't know. It just looks so weird. And almost
he just hit level 16. He is so strong right now.
He's dealing more than a lethality Varus.
Doc Dam is about to hit Manamune as well.
Yeah.
So like KT are very strong. They're about to get stronger.
Yeah, and they're going to go for a fight right now. Not sure about the timing here, as now Cuz going to go in. He's quite low, gets burst down by aiming. And now Peter and the gang trying to get out.
No!
That is BDD in the middle of it, just going to flash to his Realm Warp and go straight into Shu's open arms as he just takes down BDD, gets the shutdown as well. Talking about weird fights, we're just bouncing all over the place. Even Jonas Strong can't keep up.
Guys, patience is a virtue. You know, it's been said. And I think KT could have afforded to wait a little bit of time for some spikes. But it looks like they're not going to wait now. They're going to try and fight them off this Baron. I don't think they really have a choice. There are some low health bars.
Yeah, Showmaker isn't here yet either. No flash, or no TP, no ults as well. She's taking a decent amount of damage, and now Perfect is going to try to get Lucid, but gets taken out.
That's so low. I don't think... Shu?
Yeah, he's just going for a walk.
Well, they stopped him doing the Baron. So, ultimately, as much as that's a win for D+, it's not as much as a win Emilio has to get them back up. They do have red buff, which will help a bit.
Okay, Cuz flag drags forward, and now not in the best spot. We do have the Realm Warp coming in. That is going to get them away, but the damage has been done. And I think DK can kind of just take it from here.
I don't know, the red buff is giving a bit of sustain. It's not a ton. A lot of cooldowns have been burned from D+. Maybe they can reapproach.
There's no Equalizer, so Perfect just kind of shooting at them with some rockets. We get the engage from Cuz as he's just going to flag and drag away. That was onto a Gwen. And now Shu, he's got the Zhonya's, as he will go Golden, but he has to flash away as well. And now a bit of damage going in on a Barrel, and he just gets blown away. And now a big taunt does come in, but the damage follow-up is not quite there. And Shu also going to get burst to smithereens. The Varus doing insane amounts of damage, and so is BDD. To everybody who walks up to him. So
lost a lot of power for D+ there. Now moving on to this, there is a Mega Cone for... Oh, the pillar!
Guys, no! Not like this! Oh, he just got dunked on by Lucid! And now you see DK, they want to fight this one. He just chomps Peter in the face. Lucid taking a... Okay. Yeah, BDD is just insanely strong
the knockup!
The knockup from the Baron! This is the weirdest game I've cast in a long time. We got TP coming in. Mega disengage cone.
Oh, aiming might look. The Realm Warp's going to come through. He's out.
Yeah, he's just going to do it for safety. I think he was okay, but
Wow. You know
They're
what?
trying to engage, which is very difficult, by the way.
Wait,
with
you
their
think
comp.
KT have the advantage? Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
no.
I do.
Oh, no.
Well, they're going to go in on a Showmaker here as he is isolated and burnt to a crisp by more than just fire.
Yep. Good realm will play, finding a pick there. It's now 4v5. Cuz is looking for an angle.
Yeah, he likes to go for the Scuttle Crab instead, and it just gets smited away. So now he's just going to get over the wall to his team, as now Xiu going in. He's getting huge value with the needles. Perfect, as everybody scrambles. And going in on the BDD now, 3v1. He is running so fast, trying to get to the disengage cone. He's not going to get there. And actually, Lucid kind of engages with it as Duckdom hit it. A very messy situation, and KT are not getting the good part of it. As Xiu, he did so much damage in this fight, and he will get the final kill here as well. Looks like Cuz and Perfect get out.
You know, I knew it was doomed as soon as you said you think KT have an advantage.
Yeah.
As soon as you said those by D+, she will just get so much value, and BDD is very split. He tries to move in to help, but then they just run him down. Ult him, his resistances get shreds.
But aiming is really strong. We saw that Lucid quite strong himself. Showmaker kind of feels like he's just playing bodyguard in this game. And obviously the one man you have to mention is Xiu. There's nobody really matches him. Perfect hasn't been able to this entire game.
Yeah. BDD and Xiu are both just pushing on the sides, but Xiu kills towers so much quicker. And speed of killing towers, Lucid and aiming also do that really fast. So a lot of pressure being put down here. KT might just have to give up their mid inhibitor. And a TP comes back. He got that top tier too, but now moving in to defend. They find an angle here when D+ are kind of inside of the base walls. That's where they could find a good fight, but D+ respect that, back away. They wait for Xiu to get some pressure here. And aiming can walk up and hit the inhibitor.
They need a wave. You see Xiu sticking around, just keeping the bottom ones buffed, just to put the pressure on that makes KT rotate down. And so they do move in. And
so far this game really, and now with that Baron with his big gold lead really pushing it ahead. Xiu getting chunked a little bit, but Peter taking a lot of damage in return. No shield now.
Yeah, no door, and yeah, they're just able to burst him down. Perfect again. He's got his equalizer, but there's no really good spot to use it in. Aiming does take a huge amount of damage, but just dashes over the equalizer. Xiu and Showmaker still in there, wants to get that kill on a Perfect, and he will. He gets in, and he gets out, and ooh, nice interrupt there from Cuz. Gonna save Duckdom's life. And that means that maybe Showmaker in a rough spot, as it looks like DK do not want to continue fighting this, but now BDD is making the fight happen as they go in. They're looking for more. The flash from Cuz and makes a couple more kills. And of course, this game had to go this way. Xiu in the mist, and BDD steps in. Cuz takes the kill. It's an ace for KT.
Just when D+ get the biggest gold lead we've seen so far, they focus him down. And then we see BDD burst down, flashes in to finish off, goes for the ult, 3 members commit for the play. The flash follow though from Cuz was beautiful on aiming.
He got 1,100 gold from aiming? Did I see that right? That was crazy.
A lot of money. It's nearly 3 items. And BDD is like fake full build. Like he has Seeker's Arm Guard, which is like, it's basically like you have Zonya's.
Did BDD die to the dragon? No way, right?
No, he did finish it. But it's like Xiu have massive leads, but the 80 carry lead feels, it just doesn't feel real. I mean, it's obviously aiming has expensive crit items, but like, Duckdom's still doing so much. I think that's the one lane where the gold lead doesn't really represent the impact they're having right now, but yeah. Oh.
Ooh, the pillar and the calling does quite a lot. Looks like Peter not able to get on over there. Now we got the engage though. Cuz goes in, goes out. And BDD is still pushing. He is not joining this fight yet. He's looking for an angle maybe with this TP, but they're stopping backs and he's just pushing the base. Lucid gonna get caught out here.
Showmaker doesn't have TP as well.
Oh, he might just look to try to end the game if nobody can back. It's not like they have Baron empowered recalls.
The equalizer stopping them.
Nobody can back.
They're just chasing them down. What a play!
BDD's just gonna end the game. Unless you can somehow just flash on over and run to him.
Wait, they tried to TP, but it got cancelled. The TP got cancelled.
It doesn't work. We got the flash coming in from Xiu as he realm warps in with BDD. He ends the game. Game 1 goes to KT.
What a play from KT, the 4v5 base defense. BDD solo ending the game. The mad scramble from D.
And he's just going to end it. He
What
wins the
was
fight
crazy?
in bot lane, and then he pushes and wins.
Everyone on D+ was like, come through. And D+'s draft just kind of feels like a very LCK draft. Very much feels like a lot of picks that kind of, you know, we've seen these picks in the LCK meta so many times. Can't really feel sad about any of them. Meshes together pretty well. And it does look like it's going to be the Xayah. Not feeling too positive about this. Yeah, I think D+, pretty happy with how things have panned out. I will say the Jax doesn't feel too great into the Yorick, even though obviously Yorick is a lot about his shovel and he can block that auto attack. We've seen a lot of lane matchups go in favor of the Yorick, and later on, it's a bit of a pain playing that matchup. But like Sejuani, Jax is such a strong combo. You kind of, in the team fights, you have these backline DPS, you have the Renata that's so powerful, and I think you just get outranged so hard as KT. The Xayah has to kind of move forward to connect on someone who she really cares about, and she's dealing with like so many threats, so many things that can CC her. I don't know, I think D+ got exactly what they...
세상사의 학교가 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, game number 2. And as you guys saw in the space, and also at the top of the show, there were no predictions for 3-0s. And
Seconds of Counter-Strike.
yeah, so he's going to have that. But already, fades it out, and now he's just Omega dead. Yep, nowhere for him to go. And it's first blood over to the Pantheon, Cuz excellently set up with Perfect.
Yeah, Perfect calls his cousin in.
They're just going to take the objective that they can at this point. And for, you know, a couple of lanes that weren't very good, mid's going well for BDD, and also Duckdom and Peter are in a lane swap. And you've got Perfect also in a great spot himself. So things are going very well here for KT in this early game, you could say, given the drafts that we saw.
Yeah, I mean, I think things go about as well as you'd expect.
We'll see if that continues. We do have Cuz here. No ult, but he's got Flash. Perfect. A bit tanky, but can Cuz get here on time? Perfect gonna try to flash on in as now Cuz gets here, and the phase call does come down as Beryl throws himself in. Bit of extra damage goes in on the Cuz, but not gonna stick around for a second dive. Nice dive here from DK.
Look, some dives are easy, some dives are hard. Diving with Blister, Renata, Sejuani, that is like the easiest dive possible with bailout and Calista ult.
Well, the hostile takeover isn't going to hit anything. They're still going for the dive as Beryl's tanking this one up. Because takes a long time to be taken out, but they still get it done. So 2 kills over to D+ Kia.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even... I feel like it's just been cat and mouse this game, where like KT been swapping and D+
Showmaker
chasing them.
Yeah, that's a Rakan. That is a targeted charm, essentially. And even Cuz was here with ult and flash and everything. And look at the damage on the mid lane turret. It was only Showmaker.
About 5 seconds left, we'll get another.
Peter's still stopping the back of Shu right now.
Yeah,
Finally, he's going to get it off. It's Chemtech Soul again!
I have no excuses.
I'm not gonna name any names, but you know what you did.
Anyway. But I like the play from KT. Credit to them for that. Now they do see Lucid taking this scuttle. Will they contest? Ult about to be up from Peter.
Yeah, Lucid really wants the Scuttle Crab. Yeah. So he didn't even get it.
Yeah. That is feats of strength for KT.
I don't know about that one, Lucid.
I feel like the common theme, you know, it's just for support players, it's dying for control wards. And for junglers, it's dying for Scuttle Crabs. It's just, it's a tale as old as time.
Yeah. That was weird, but very on theme for this series, I'd say. Mid lane turret is going to go down here. KT opening up a pretty huge lead this early in the game. 15 minutes in, already 3,500 gold. And yes, he was going to get this top turret, but Perfect got the bottom one. So we're just trading there.
Yep.
KT are getting everything else.
Like, there's just massive leads across the board. It was a good vid, though, right?
Yeah, it was nice. I didn't see him do any spins, though, so I'm a little bit disappointed. as now little engaged, but that Renata is going to get a lot of value. Tons of damage into Lucid, though, as he is going to finally go down, as Shu does have a nice angle up there on the top side, but he's alone. And everybody's zoned away by Cuz. A Showmaker and Aiming not really able to join the fight. Cuz wants a bit more BDD as well. Gonna get the flash at a Showmaker for just his ult, although Cuz has to get away as well. Little spinorama there from Showmaker to get out, but lots of damage done here to D plus Kia, and KT will take this objective.
It was such a strange start to the play because it felt like it was just Duckdom flexing how much damage he could do.
Down a level here to Duckdom. And it's a free dragon to KT.
Yeah, I feel like you're in such a rough position now. Maybe don't be in that position. But anyway, well, Cleanse now down for Duckdom, so that's a big cooldown unavailable.
Oh, flash on him. Perfect, in a bit of trouble. He's going to try to flash away. Maiden is doing a bit of damage. The ghouls as well. No counter-strike for now, but he gets it back and just plops him on the head. Shu's got TP as well. They're just going to start this one up.
Lucid has a Mega Cone, but he's already half HP. This feels so bad. You got a solo kill, and you lose Atakan for it.
It's just gone. It just disappeared.
Was it ever even there?
They never even tried to play for it.
Yeah. Well, that feels really bad, because that solo kill from Shu was huge. Massive. Really well played from him. He's down in items. Oh. You can see level leads across the board. Only Shu has a level advantage on D+.
Little trap Renata, as Cuz is going very deep for this one, and he's going to just die. Not sure about that. As now BDD trying to get away here. Shu, he doesn't have the flash, so he's not quite able to get in. The peel is there, and a big root comes in from Duckdom.
You guys can just go Dragon, by the way. They don't have a jungler.
Or we're just going to flash on in and fight more, because that's what we do. Duckdom is just playing like an insane person. Still has his ult, going in for the kill on a Lucid as he gets the callback and picks up the kill himself. Showmaker trying to do a bit of damage to Perfect, but they're all super low. The charm comes in, and now Shu is just gonna die. Meanwhile, on the right side, or on the left side rather, Aiming just dying for no reason to the two of them. And KT, you could have just taken the dragon, or DK rather. You could have just taken the objective.
Yeah, they killed the enemy jungler. This is more fun, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely a more fun viewing experience, I'd say. So our fans are really benefiting from DK's
Well, it's
play.
definitely more fun for KT fans.
Yeah.
I don't think it's more fun for D+ fans. But, you know.
Yeah, definitely a bit tragic for them. We do have the Terminus finish.
BD picked up Rabadons, so
he likes that item today.
He is pumping some damage.
Yeah, I mean, he's very far ahead of Showmaker in this game. 1,300, 400 gold.
In last game?
Last game. Peter's going in, he's going out, getting knockups on the Lucid.
Shaking it all about.
Yeah. He's doing the hokey pokey all over DK right now.
Oh, she would have been in trouble.
He's gonna go in, and immediately flashes out, and now BDD finds the angle, and that's gonna get a hostile takeover here. This time Cuz in a much better position. Big knockups both ways, but guess who's ahead? It's KT Roaster, and they follow up on this one too. As one by one the dominoes fall, and the charm is going to hit as well. KT might just end the game here.
Huge team fight for KT. Kills. Gonna take this one to a 2-0. Long death timers. No way D+ are up in time to defend. And KT, we had a close series in the tiebreaker. This one not looking to be that way. Game one was a lot of back and forth, but this one, KT looking a lot more dominant.
Very dominant game here to KT from beginning to end, and they'll finish it off with a clean ace in the final team fights. From the red side, with a kind of wonky draft situation as well, they just make it work. KT just looking like the better group team going to MSI.
But also, like, this is the only chance of D+ getting a real major dub for a long time, because if they end up losing, you're not going to have Prio in the bot lane because it's Senna into the Smolder. Mid lane, you don't know the matchup yet. So I'm not really confident this Kindred's going to get the ball rolling. you're just you're kind of at the whim of KT, I feel like, in this game.
That's a hefty amount of poke. You'd always love to outrange the victor if possible, but how about outranging everybody? Cassiopeia is going to be locked, and we're going to get BDD's Cassiopeia. I can't remember the last time he's played this champ.
So much scaling coming out here in this game. It feels like, you know, the scaling was opted into early, and both teams just matched. And we're now getting into a situation where we are leaning heavily into the late game. And I feel like KT are going to have a bit of an earlier edge. There's some aspects, like the Kindred needs marks, really. It's the stacking rate of the small day is going to be an aspect, the leveling rate of the Ornn. When we get into the later stages, you know,
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 미니언 생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
Alrighty, here we go. Game number 3.
T+ looking for something level 1. I mean, that's the thing as well. Both these teams have...
Playing against Bro. His overall win rate on Cassiopeia is also 20%. He is 1-4. He's only played it 5 times. Obviously, the majority of League of Legends in his career has not been fearless.
Oh, no. That's what caused the whole beef.
You know, if you go to Busan, you can get sand in your sneakers.
Well, Xerath wouldn't like that.
But Xerath wouldn't like that, but we got a bit of a fight. I'm just kidding. So anyway, about Busan, really looking forward to that. Should be a lot of fun. Lucid just gonna face check into where he knew Cassiopeia was, but he is Kindred and he will live. The ult comes down and the laser gets him. The Drake still goes over to KT, but that's a couple of kills now over to DK. Perfect does not have his flash. It's a third Chemtech soul in a row, and Perfect very tanky, but I think eventually he just dies. And so 3 kills to DK, not half bad.
I'm really off my game today. Sorry, guys. It is just Chemtech.
3 in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Okay.
Oh, aim it. Whoa.
Aiming, skanking over the wall. He picked up, I think, 2 or maybe 3 stacks. Here comes Sion, and now Barrel's dead. So, not really sure about that play, but, you know, aiming got 3 stacks.
You know, look, Beryl is a player who I think many times has played too aggressive and died for it. I ain't blaming him for that one, right? Aiming flies over the wall and Beryl dies for it. You know, a little bit crazy, a little bit over aggressive. They do get Lockdown's flash though, so you know there is something from it. They're now they are looking to fight for this 4v5.
They don't have their Nautilus. It's gone. And now the ult comes down, and the Ornn is just stuck on the Miasma, finally gets out. Just barely as the stun doesn't come down, and now the counter ult does come down, only hits the
nice
Sion.
dodge.
Yep, good dodge. Bit of damage here from aiming. He's just collecting stacks. There's some more stacks. And yeah, nobody's actually fighting. Maybe able to go for Perfect though, as he is trying to run, but he's not quite able to run fast enough. So the kill goes to aiming actually.
Okay, I mean, if the goal was getting stacks, that was a huge team fight, you know? From a little bit scrappy. Shiru ends up getting ulted immediately, and they just don't quite have enough damage to kill him immediately. But then, like, oh, no, never mind. Too much fighting. Guys, I know these are scaling comps, but we have to fight now.
Yeah. Not sure about that. Peril takes a big chunk already. Perfect, though, is getting chunked massively. Might have to flash out of this one as he goes in first, and then he goes out. Shiyu gonna come down here, but the smite should go. Yes, it will. Over to KT. Cuz throws down his circle, but a lot of low health bars here on the side of KT. BDD at least gets the 1 kill, but they have to abandon ship. It looks like Perfect might just be the sacrifice again. The Showmaker picks up yet another kill. Looking for a bit more backing on a ward right here. Is Duckdown. As, yeah, he might just die. 1 clap does it, and the flash over the wall, and Lucid picks up the kill. Still no stack as he only has 1 so far. And now he gets popped over to the side of BDD. It's KT. They're turning this fight around about 2 minutes later. Continuing to go in onto Shiyu, who is desperately trying to get away. And might just be able to, Cuz continuing to go in. BDD still here, and now with the combo coming down, looks like Shu is just dead. And they even give that kill over to BDD.
You know, I was ready to flame Doctor for that recall, but it was all a bait, allegedly. Perhaps,
excellent play.
Maybe. Yes, totally, surely. Peter's trying to go to D+. Oh no, they're looking for Showmaker.
Uh-oh.
He's got it.
Nice flash. There it is. Flash comes in, and the Sentinel ult over the top keeps him alive. Looks like he was going to live anyway, but no damage really comes in. Now aiming, walking down very fast, and Barrel's going to hook him in here. Not sure about that one, Barrel, as now he is being taken for a walk, and the ult comes down, and is aiming! Aiming looks straight into the eyes of the snake, and gets punished for it, and Showmaker gets baited. He's got 3 kills and 0 deaths, and Duckdom collects huge amounts of cash money.
The MVP of the play, Duckdom, who set it all up with his recall, comes back to get the kill. No, but in all seriousness,
Hours later.
BDD is so locked in to going to Busan, just slithering about on the sand, getting a huge ult on aiming, and this game, you know,
Rift Herald's still in the game. And it looks like we are going to have the Alistar piloting this one. Not going to do any missing maneuvers here. As now, Shiu goes in and he just kind of dies. No follow-up. Gets burnt down. And Perfect is also getting burnt down, giving a bunch of stacks over to the Smolder.
He has hit his threshold, aiming very scary now. But they just lost their Ornn. So they will move, the Atacana will be taken. And by the way, I do want to mention something. So we've been talking a lot about stacks and how the person I put the most emphasis on stack-wise, the person I said really needed to have stacks. 4. And the thing is, it means it's all on aiming and Showmaker. And Showmaker's not that strong. Aiming is pretty strong at least, but it's like it's Smolder or bust at this point.
You got the Scion flank. And he's going to start running the opposite way. Nice little knock up here on Ashiu, who once again is just being bullied. So much damage coming down onto him already. At least he's able to get his ult off. He's in the Kindred, but Peter's in the back line, knocking everybody up. And now the follow-up comes in from KT. Lucid is dead. And Perfect just chases them down. Alongside of Peter, just going to taxi them out of this one. And the Dragon is up. And that will be Chemtech Soul for KT.
Yep, and a lot of value from that. The healing available to the center, the shielding for the Scion, but also just if you get someone low, that's going to be so much harder to kill. You're already struggling to cut through these health bars.
Yeah. Cassiopeia, Xin Zhao, Alistar, Scion. It's basically only Senna who doesn't get a huge amount of value from the Soul.
Oh,
and now they're hitting in mid! Their root's going to come down and aiming just dies for free! KT! They're going up, up, up on this roller coaster, and I don't see any signs of coming down yet.
No one was ready to call a 3-0.
They're doing the Baron.
Oh, this is...
Guys.
Just send it, send it, send it, send it. You gotta send it, you gotta send it.
Nope, they're backing away. They're turning onto the TP. This is a Scion.
Just kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him.
Yeah, they might be able to. He's gonna ult out of the stun, and he is supremely tanky.
Yeah, they do no damage.
And now Shiu is taking a lot more on the left side here. He might be able to get his ult off, which does a decent amount, but you can see the rest of DK is just running away. And now that Miasma is down, Shiu didn't even have flash. The follow-up from Peter is huge. It is going to keep them around. Big ult comes through from Barrel, and now you've got them in place. At least the one kill does go their way. Nice look away from Lucid, but that is going to be the ult down from the Kindred, the ult spot. The follow-up hook from Barrel is big, but it's onto a Scion, and that is not going to be big at all. And now the follow-up here on the Lucid. Look at the range right now from the Senna. Just turreting them down. And now they can turn to look for this Baron.
Honestly, that would have been a good fight if the goal was closer. You could see the low health bars, you could see the burn so close to coming through, the execute nearly there, the damage, trying to make pro.
He just keeps doing this, getting really fed, picking up POMs. Unfortunately, for Perfect, not exactly the highlight series, but you know, he played well still. He's just not put in that position that he was in the best of 3. And now, once again, Shiu's kind of the bait in the front line. Sornult could be good. It's going to hit BDD at least. And now we have a bit of damage coming down. The Nautilus ult out of BDD as well is going to zone him away for quite a while. But now we got the flash in for Perfect. Trying to engage, and Barrel just going to be chopped away as he gets taken down. Big stun onto 3. And now Peter going to go down. That's going to make this Chaos Storm quite large, and KT is going to dodge all that and just run away. Elder Drake is now live, and the burn is beginning to hurt here from the side of aiming. That's a huge one. And you do see some healing does come in from Duckdom, but DK now positioned here on this objective.
Getting a decent amount of poke, but the problem is there's so much sustain from KT. Shiwu needs to be so careful.
Yeah, he's going to get slowed up there at the end there as well. Just barely gets away.
Center sustain is getting so much work done. Oh, Lucid, do not.
Uh-oh. We got the angle, the Mega Cone, and he gets ulted and taken down. A bit of damage does come out from aiming and Showmaker. They've still got mana, but the sustain that you mentioned and blue buff here for KT, BDD is going to get out of the stun. Pretty important, and now we got the wraparound.
Perfect.
We got the wraparound once again. He's not going to hit anything except the wall, and he should be going down here. So now KT in a weird spot. Barrel respawns, as does Peter, but still kind of a wonky one.
Okay, they both have TP. Showmaker and aiming at a recall and TP back in. Lucy's going to spawn in 15. What? Okay.
Live with his ult to maybe get in.
No. He's not living. His ult is to stop Cuz's smite so he can smite himself. That is. Lucy's job is to cure Elder.
Yeah, they almost broke through perfect shield. They didn't quite do that though. And we go again. We'll engage Randuin's. Yeah, Randuin's going to keep him around. All of these fights feel like endurance races right now for both these teams. Bit of damage goes on to Shiyu. And, okay, so now the blue buff is gone. You can see that...
Is it just Smolder Diff? If no one takes Elder, aiming is just going to be the Elder.
All right, we're trying to ult Duckdom. They're not going to be able to do so. And aiming is still the Elder. He's doing a huge amount of damage. Cuz is doing the Raptors.
He's a jungler at heart.
Gotta get my farm in where I can, you know. It's all about this Elder still.
Guys, my CST stat. Gotta keep it up.
Nothing has changed. We're still fighting the same fight from 3 minutes ago. Baron is gonna spawn in a minute now. The Elder spawned while KT had the Baron. And now engaging onto the Ornn. That's a good one from Peter. Finds the front line. And Lucy going to be forced to ult early. Aiming, trying to run out of the ult. He's going to be pulled out of the stun, but still aiming goes down. And now it seems like the dominoes will fall again as more members go down for DK. KT looking to push in towards Showmaker. Not even going to look at that Elder Dragon. And aiming damage, and it still didn't matter.
Still not enough AK damage. Half a perfect health bar apparently. KT able to hold on strong. Gonna finish this one with a 3-0 and start their run through the gauntlet towards Busan.
Yeah, I mean, KT looking like a very scary team after this one. Not sure how much of it was their great play and DK's not so great play, but it's still a 3-0, a clean one. Nothing to see here going at KT Rolster. Their first spot in the gauntlet is secured, and they will face off against Nongshim Red Force tomorrow.
That's a bit heartbreaking for D+, especially games 1 and 3. There was definitely moments where you saw it maybe close to coming together. Game 2 was a bit of a washout, but I think showing the struggles that D+ have had, not able to make it into the Legend Group and not able to make it further into the road to MSI. But KT, I think, definitely deserving to go further in this one. And honestly, I think